Tonight on the Bubblecast, Game 2 of the NBA Finals, as the Dallas Mavericks look to bounce back to avoid an 0-2 hole. Also, the United States of Clark. As the USA women's team made its final selection, the captivating superstar was not chosen of the 12 representatives, which caused an uproar from her millions of fans. Was this a snub or correct decision? Also, NFL stars and big paydays given out, which set an unprecedented record and caused holdouts for other player contracts. This and more tonight on the Bubblecast with your hosts D&E. Thank you for joining us.
All right. Well, we'll focus on the top story in sports. Caitlin Clark continues to dominate the story. And with Caitlin Clark dominating the headlines, you know, she's the number one athlete right now in sports, period. Men or women. And right now, there's big controversy that she's off Team USA, the women's team. And for me, you know, being a fan of Clark, I think that's pretty good, in my opinion, because she has been playing nonstop. The women's Final Four, the season, although it was short, and now the WNBA season, as to opposed to women who's been chosen, they had it all season, so they haven't been playing much basketball. But it's just my opinion. But I think, you know, Clark fans have a right to be upset because she's a big ticket draw, she's a big viewership draw, and she's going to sell a lot of merchandise, you know, for Team USA. But I think Team USA women is going to win the gold regardless. With or without Caitlin Clark, they're going to win the gold.
Yeah, man. Like you say, you know, she was like one of the top players in the league right now. You know what I'm saying? I can totally agree with it. But, you know, I think with the roster they have, man, I think they sit without her. You know what I'm saying? They got the most dominant women on the team right now. You know, Asia Wilson, you got, you know, Brittany Griner, Diana Taurasi, you got Breanna Stewart. You got a lot of women that's been playing the game for a while, you know what I'm saying, that's on the team. So, you know, ain't like you say, man, she need to rest right now. She still need to work on her game. You know, a lot of things she need to work on, you know, for us. I don't think she need to go directly into the Olympics right now at this moment because she do need to rest and she do need to work on her game. And that right there, being off at that moment, will give her some time to kind of like get herself situated, get ready for next season. You know what I'm saying? And just try to get herself together, man, going forward.
Yeah, and her time is going to be there on the next Olympics in 2028. It's going to be there. And, of course, it'll be FIBA World Qualifiers. And, you know, for the next foreseeable future, you know, she is the face of one of the top faces in basketball. And I'm not just going to disrespect her and say women basketball. You know, she's going to be one of the top faces of basketball and sports in general. She's going to be an icon. And she lives up to her billing. You know, she's going to have her time in the moment at the Olympics. And speaking of continuing with Caitlin Clark, the top story in sports, you know, she's going to play again tomorrow against the Connecticut Sun. You know, another top billing game, prime time. Finally, a prime time game. We can watch, you know, the athletic paralysis of Clark. You know, I think it's going to be a good game tomorrow.
Yeah, man, a good game, man. Coming off that 30-point win, man. She went crazy from the 3-point line, man. She went 7-13 from the 3-point line, 8 for 15 from the field goal period, man. You know, she just went crazy, man, coming off that 3-point game that she had. She was kind of rusty coming off a big, you know, rivalry game, you know, against Angel Reese and Chicago Skies, man. So I think she was kind of resting when she played that game. And then, man, she just redeemed herself Friday night, man, with that 30-point win. So we'll see how she go.
And then another thing about the whole Angel Reese situation, a lot of people are saying Clark was not on there, but you know another wasn't on there. Angel Reese, Cameron Brink. You know, I think the rookies going to get their time to shine at the Olympics, but right now they got to focus on their professional craft, which I think they're all seem to be exceedingly well. Man, continuing with Caitlin Clark, you know, the misses game sold out in minutes, and I think this has to show her
crazy.
Her presence. You know, her presence is emerging because that was a home game for Angel Clark. and I'm sorry, Angel Reese. It was a home game for Angel Reese, and although 10,000 10,000 the separation in the draw of like, hey, this is Caitlin Clark lead now, and everyone else is contributing, but let's not get it, misunderstood. She's a big reason why a lot of these things are happening. The charter flights, the merchandise, the viewerships, the sales. Is Caitlin Clark. Earliers are contributing, but it's her. We got to be honest. There's an old saying, a spade is a spade, and right now, Caitlin Clark is that draw, and it's mainly her. I would say it's about 80-20. 80% Clark, 20% everyone else. Is that the wrong with saying that? She's the big, what they would say, cash cow, or she's the big ticket draw right now.
And I agree to that, man. But at the end of the day, man, it's like, dang, it took this much attention just to, for the other women to get, noticed, man, and they like dominating the game. And and at the end of the day, I'm happy that she did bring the attention to the league, so a lot of people can view the other women, man, and view the other dominance, man, and that's already been displayed, man. They paved the way for her to even make it to the league. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm glad that she did bring him to the spotlight. You know what I'm saying? But you still got more dominant women that's just been playing for a long time, man, and they just now being noticed for the last maybe 2 seasons. You know what I'm saying? That the NBA been popping off because social media bringing a
Yep.
lot of attention to them. You know what I'm saying? And so they getting the views that they've been looking for the last few years, man. They finally getting the views, man. And you can't, like Caitlin Clark, you can thank her for that too.
Yeah, sure. You look at all the past greats, the women basketball, Maya Moore, Rebecca Lobo, Shamika Hoskov, Cheryl Swoops. The
Yeah,
list
man.
goes on. Candace Parker. The list goes on. And I think right now, maybe, there should be more attention to women's basketball than, I'm kind of slightly guilty. The Atlanta Dream has been here in Atlanta for a long time, and I maybe been to maybe like 8 Dream games, and a low attendance has gotten them moving to College Park, but their game against the Fever now, thanks to Clayton Clark, is going to be in the old Phillips Arena, State Farm Arena, and that's where they originally used to play. And I'm just excited. I'm a big fan of sports, and to me, it's not too much gender appropriate. It's just sports in general. That's what I think was bringing these countries together in times of hardship, times of misunderstanding. Sports unites us. And right now, rather than Clayton Clark getting surrounded, and her other colleagues getting surrounded with, hey, this appreciation, there's hate, there's anger, there's bitterness, there's jealousy. And there's two sides to every story, but at the same time, two things can be true. Yes, the prior greats and the current women could get a lot of appreciation before Clark, but at the same time, we can say, hey, Clark is bringing that attention, and right now it's not her fault. It's not her fault that she was the number one player overall, the number one story in sports. Everything she has done, she's earned, and I think that should be a lead knowledge on the current women's team.
Yeah, man. And outside of Caitlin Clark, man, we had another phenomenal big women's game yesterday, man, with the New York versus Connecticut, man. Both number 1 and 2 teams in the league right now, man. They both came in. Connecticut came in 9-0. Liberty came in at 9-1. So that was another top game, man. And they lived up to
In New
the hype.
York,
Yeah, New
they
York
showed
lived
out,
up to the hype. Yeah.
and you need more of this. I think, and instead of focusing on that great game, Lakers' story was Clark not making the national team for the Paris in 2024, or I could just say this summer. And I think the story should now be more of, hey, now that all this attention to here, let's put the attention in this great basketball that's being played. Let's put the attention to the attendance. Let's put the attention to merchandise, and to give people, what they're looking for. Sports, we can get past, hey, who's doing it now is here. And right now, most of the attention is centered around the person that's bringing it, rather than hey, uplifting the game, uplifting the sport, and taking advantage of all the new eyes that's on the product right now.
Yep. And so, like I say, man, that was a good game yesterday. You know, speaking of Caitlin Clark, like I say, man, to be honest, man, if it wasn't for Clark, I probably wouldn't even never watch that game yesterday. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm just being honest. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to the women who already been playing. You know, Brianna Stewart, Alyssa Thompson. They played a great game yesterday, man. But to be honest, man, like I'm a guy. I never really just put my all into women's sports. And man, the last 2 years, man, I've been really watching and keeping up with some of these women, man, and they've been balling out. Like I said, that game held up. They bargained yesterday, man. Inescu, man, she went off for 24 points yesterday. You know, Alyssa Thomas shut down Brianna Stewart until like the second half. You know what I'm saying? But then Brianna came through.
Yeah, she gonna beat Brianna.
Yeah, she lit it up like in the fourth. You know what I'm saying? Thomas held their ground, but then they led most of the game. The fourth quarter came, New York caught fire, you know what I'm saying? And they kind of lit up, man, and they kind of screwed it up in the end with some missed shots, you know, and man, they just couldn't pull it out. So I thought they was gonna stay undefeated, but the way Thomas got playing defense on them, man, she was locking it down the whole game until like the fourth quarter, man. So it was crazy, man.
And talk about the atmosphere. I mean, that place was jumping. I mean, that's what you need. You need more people there. I mean, the energy. Everyone feeds from the energy. The people there watching, people watching at home. The announcers call the game a little better when it's an excitement, and it's competitive. And that's what people want to watch. And I think once we get past the sensationalism that Clark has brought to the game and you get down to the basketball, people are going to really see, hey, this is a really good sport and we should be watching more, and we're going to continue to watch going forward because there's going to be another great sensational rookie class coming up too. But I guess we can talk about that next year. But right now, all eyes is on the WNBA, and deservedly so.
That top pick come out, man, at Paige Buckner, man. She's going to be like the number one pick coming up out of college next year. So I'll be excited to watch that too.
Oh, yes, man. And speaking of basketball, game 2 of the NBA Finals. Mavs got surprised, I would say, to be polite, in game 1. They don't know what was expected in Boston. I think Kyrie was all mental in that game. I mean, I think he maybe underestimated the resentment that Boston has for him. I called it, but I think, he really just was all mental. I think he's going to bounce back game 2. And what people don't understand, and I'm not saying anything with insight here, Boston did what they're supposed to do. They defended home court. And quite possibly, Boston could still win game 2. That doesn't mean they're going to win this series. But if you're the Dallas, Luka played sensational, and now it's possibility he's limited or won't play at all with a sprained knee. So you're going to need Kyrie to step up and, be Kyrie, the Kyrie that we know that can shoot out, that can set picks, screens, dish it out. It's just Kyrie's game. He's going to have to make a difference tonight.
Yeah, exactly, man. I can agree with you on that struggle, man, with Kyrie. Man, he looked kind of rested, man. Coming off that win against, Timberwolves, man. He kind of went kind of crazy in that one. So I don't know if you kind of rusty from that. And then Boston, like you said, They came in on fire, man. They came in unstoppable, man. Porzingis, man, he went off from the field, and that was his first game back, actually, man. And he just went off crazy, man, for the first game coming back after 39 days of not playing. And like you say, man, Kyrie just got to step it up, man, because he is 0-11 versus Boston since leaving them. So I don't know if that's something that the issue with when he stopped on that leprechaun.
Yeah,
I think
the
he
leprechaun
cursed. He got cursed once he stepped on that leprechaun, man. 0-11 since leaving Boston. So, it's just game 1, so I'm not going to hold it against him, man. And hopefully he can bounce back tonight. you know, going into a big game back in Boston again. So hopefully he can make some noise tonight.
And it's all about adjustments. The Jason Kidd should adjust. He's one of the few coaches out there that's been in the finals as a player and as a coach
Yeah,
now. And I think
yeah.
he's gonna make the adjustments. And Porzingis, even though we knew he wasn't there for 39 days, I still think Dallas was still caught off guard by his presence. They didn't have an answer for him.
Exactly. I agree. Definitely agree.
Man.
And man, talking about Porzingis, man, what about Jaylen Brown, man, coming up big, man? He had a few major blocks, man, some dunks, man, crazy threes. He was just going off, man. And he went off so hard. Porzingis and Jaylen Brown went off so hard. You forgot about Jason Tatum, man. He was Jason
Yep,
had a
that's true.
quiet night. He had a quiet night, man. And I think tonight he might come up with a bigger game himself playing tonight. Porzingis and Jaylen Brown took over their game one, and I think Jason Tatum gonna come back with put up some big numbers tonight himself.
And who else will be an X factor in this game? We talk about the Browns, the Tatum's, Kyrie. Luka going to do his thing. But who else would you say got to be an X factor for both teams to make this? This series could be 6 or 7 games, but the way Boston played game one, people think he may go 4 or 5. But who do you think will be the X factors to make this series great?
Man, you got. I'm on Boston. I'm gonna go with Drew Holiday. Man, he got offense and defense. Man, he won a title with Milwaukee, man, already. So, he always had.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that on that side with Boston with Drew Holiday, I'm gonna pick him. But with Dallas, I'm gonna have to go with PJ Washington, man. He been playing great basketball, man. The whole series against Timberwolves, man, he was going off, man, playing big in the paint, taking some big shots from the 3-point line. So, I just want to see what they both can do on both sides.
And it's great for sports too. You got great WNBA action, great NBA action, the finals. And right now, what could you ask for a basketball fan? You got exciting basketball going on right now. This is something that could have been going on for a while, but thanks to certain individuals, all eyes are on both sports at the same time. You can ask for anything more.
Yep. And so, man, outside of the NBA, man, I just want to talk about this big contract, man, that Justin Jefferson just signed, man, $140 million for the Minnesota
He's
Vikings.
moving on up.
Man, that's crazy.
You go see Uncle George and Louise, man, the deluxe apartment in the sky.
Yeah, man. And then also, man, he getting all this money right after Kirk Cousins left. And then Kirk Cousins got the money too. That's crazy. They both were playing together and they both got over $100 million contracts, man. That's crazy.
I guess they both can get paid at the same time, but they both got paid. And shout out to Kirk Cousins and his GM. I'm sorry, his agent. His agent got to be in the Hall of Fame. Immediately.
Oh yeah, that was crazy, man.
You talk about waiting 5 years to get in the Hall of Fame. This man is the NFL GOAT contracts. I think Kirk Cousins, he was the first person to get his contract all guaranteed. He the one set the standard, wasn't it? With that $80 million when he went to Minnesota?
I think it was you said when he went to Minnesota?
Yeah, it was like he got an $80 million deal, all guaranteed. He was the one that set the standard for that guaranteed contract. He got a great agent. Man, Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he had a few nice contracts, man. I think Atlanta was like one of the biggest, Like I say, that's the last thing he gonna get, last stint for him, man. Hopefully he do good in Atlanta. You got a rookie quarterback playing behind him, so we gonna see how he do also. But like I say, Justin Jefferson, man, he deserved that, man. He went crazy. I had him on my fantasy before, And man, he always put up big numbers, man. But we'll see what he can do going forward, man, with JJ McCarthy, man. Hopefully they can make something happen out there.
Oh yeah. McCarthy been talking a lot of trash, talking about Cousins wore chains and he won rings. I'm like, okay, young man. You go get a whole new attitude adjustment in this NFL. Hope he can bring it.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. And man, another big name, man. We just talked about Jefferson, man, but it's another big name that haven't got paid, and he been absent from OTAs, man. That's CD Lamb from Dallas Cowboys, man. What you think
Oh,
about that?
Mr. Snatch your phone on draft day. Oh man, CD. He deserving some money? Yes, but is it the amount of money that he thinks he deserves? I would say no, because there have been some games where he just flat out. He's been a big contributor to the Cowboys offense. I mean, when he can get it going, he can get it going. But when he disappears, man, you got to call unsolved mysteries. But right now, I think Jerry Jones has been in this situation before with multiple personalities in that locker room. There's Bryant, Dak, Romo. The list can go on about the great Cowboys players that pay in the past, present, and there be in the future. Jerry Jones just has his way of, dragging his foot. And when he feel like, hey, he hit that threshold, he may CTC, he may cut that check at the last minute. But right now, I don't blame Jerry Jones for not giving that money. CD Lamb wants, because right now, I think the model of being great is being consistent first. And right now, CD ain't been consistent. I mean, he had those splashes, but I think, I'm with Jerry Jones on this one. I'm not giving that money, not just yet. We're gonna see how it goes.
Hey man, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that, man, because
I know why you disagree, because he help you won the title.
We both experienced what happened firsthand with that last season, man. So he won me my fantasy championship. So I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that. So
pay the man.
I had him since like week 5, and he just went. And so, man, the whole year, man, he played all games, every single game that season. He didn't even miss a game. So, and I think he only had maybe two or three games under 100 yards. Every game he had over 100 yards, multiple touchdowns, man. So, like, if you really
look at a quiet 100 though, it's like, man, it's like, can you see me? Like, it's like
he had a sighting. Man, he got drug tested on one of the games, man. He went crazy. They had to drug test him. I mean, I mean, if you have to drug test a guy, right in the middle of a season just because he had over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, that should be saying something. Drug test came back negative, and the man want his money. He putting all his talents on the line, and I deserve he need to get paid, man. He deserved that money.
Well, yeah, man, and with the NFL up season coming, the OTAs are going. Me, Atlanta fan, you the Patriot fan. I think NFL season. We've seen this before with a lot of star players, but I think it's going to work out eventually. But Jerry Jones, I think he's like the master manipulator. And I think he's going to eventually, maybe he's going to CTC, he's going to cut that check. But right now, I think he maybe going to see what CD is going to eventually do, because they might just franchise him. Could they franchise him?
Hey, man, this is an issue, though. It's one big issue between this CD Lamb contract, because guess who else need one? Dak Prescott.
Oh man!
So that's a railroad right there on reason why he probably haven't got paid, because Jerry Jones looking like, man, I gotta pay the quarterback and the receiver. I don't know what he gonna do in that situation. And with Dak, I don't know if I think this is last stretch, man. I don't think Jerry should give him a big contract. You know what I'm saying? Because he's gotten older. He had some few injuries, man, and he can get in the ball, man, but in big games, man, that kind of choke, man, and you can't get it done, man. And so on this situation, I think CeeDee Lamb need to get paid, but Dak Prescott, man, I don't know.
And the one say he don't need money to be playing. Wait, what's that quote he said? He's that, I don't. He's not playing for money. Hey, take the